Hello, welcome to my channel. Be sure to comment and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when my next videos will post. Let's jump right into this John Gray fiasco. If you've been living under a rock, you haven't seen this video, or maybe you have, and that's why you're here. There's so many problematic things that were said in that video that I needed to make this. Listen, he talked about how in the 8 years that he's been married, the wife endured so much pain, more pain than the childbirth that she endured. He talked about she was 2 sizes too big for him. She was a coat and he had to grow into, this relationship, and she was already, he's till this day, he's still not where she is. And you know what I mean? It sounded very, poetic, very put together, but it is a huge issue and it adds on to the struggle of propaganda. This is just a Christian edition, y'all. And I just kind of feel like it continues to add on to this narrative that the black woman has to be a rehabilitation center. The black woman has to be the therapist. The black woman has to be pretty much his savior, his knight in shining armor. Like, I remember back in the day, it used to be a man that was the knight in shining armor. But now it's pretty much the woman. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute. What were they before they got married? Did she marry potential? Were they equally yoked? It just sounds like they were not, maybe on the spiritual level or whatever level, if it was emotionally, psychologically, that they were unequally yoked. Like, it just doesn't make sense why this man was like, well, I had to grow up into her and she healed the wounds that I never thought. And I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like therapy, and that's not fair to her. How is that fair to her that for the 8 years of her life, she was working on healing and developing? And it's just not fair because the church shoves it down, the black church shoves it down black women's throats to, oh, well, get ready, get your house in order, make sure you get yourself ready and prepare to be a wife. And I'm like, that same narrative is not shoved down black men's throats. No one's ever telling them to become a husband before your wife comes. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched a little clip that went viral. But I felt like, you know what? If he was taking ownership of all the stuff he put his wife through, then I felt like there should have been another aspect of it. Again, I didn't watch it. If y'all saw it and he did say this, let me know. I might make a part 2, but it's still fresh. The whole interview has not posted on the sister circle, so I don't know. But if he were to say something along the lines, you know what, fellas, I went through that with my wife. I don't want you guys to go through that same thing. What I would recommend is counseling for you all. What I would recommend is to get your house in order before you meet your wife, so your wife doesn't endure that. Don't glamorize and glorify struggle love. Like, no, that it's not okay. It's not okay that black women have to carry men on their backs. It's not okay. And then it's like, black men want to know why y'all so angry, why y'all so bitter. Nobody could talk to y'all. That's why a lot of women turn bitter and resentful and just, callous, and they harden their hearts to love because of men like this. You know what I mean? This is very problematic for another reason, is because it's subliminally saying, if you work on that man long enough, if you work on that man hard enough, he's gonna become who God called him to be. And it's gonna be thanks to you. And of course, Jesus, but thanks to you. And it doesn't, how many black women have wasted their life and wasted their time and still didn't get the ring? They wasted their life, wasted their time, and still he didn't come. He never realized his potential. And so it's just like, ladies, if you watch that video and you were just mesmerizing into the poeticism, and that's not even a word, but the poetry and all this other stuff, if you were wooed into that, I want you to open your eyes, take off the rose-colored glasses, and hear what is being said. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid, ladies. I've been stopped drinking. Stop it. And people were in the comments was, oh, y'all probably single. That's why y'all having a problem with this. No, and that's my problem with Black men and the pick-me chicks, okay? A lot of Black men refuse to open their eyes and see, like, it's not okay for you to equate your woman's worth or to equate how much she loves you by the amount of struggle you put her through. Like, her pain, the pain that you have put on her is her initiation into if she's willing to be in this relationship with you. Like, I feel like that's disgusting, and you should never have to put the person you love through unnecessary pain, intentional or unintentional. And I thought there was something up with him when I saw him on Tiny and T.I. family, Friends and Family Hustle episode, and he was bigging up Tiny for all the stuff she put T.I. put her through, and he, his wife had to endure some stuff with him. And I don't know if there was infidelity in their relationship. I don't know what was going on with John Gray that he felt like, whoa, what was going on? But I remember watching him on TBN. He just seemed like a funny dude. Like, but what T.I. is putting Tiny through, yes, you're telling her to hold it down, but you're not telling, T.I. wasn't there. But it's like, you're not telling the men to do anything. And that's why he got dragged off of the whole Sierra situation a few months back. Because he's telling women, you need to already be a wife. You need to already come correct or whatever. And like, we just see these little Instagram pastors and all these people, because they go to different churches and stuff like that. We just hop on the train. We just hop on what they're saying. And then we just take that as Bible. No, he said his wife was his covering. Your husband is supposed to be the covering, not the wife. Not the wife. And I just, it's not okay. And I don't understand why people cannot see. And a lot of women are opening their eyes. It's not okay. And I just feel like a lot of Black men are absolutely behind. They are really, really behind on being emotionally available, emotionally intelligent. Like there's a lot of stuff that some Black men, not all men, are behind on. And so him posting that video literally pushed men back 10 more years. Like, I just feel like, ladies, take it with a grain of salt. Fellas, take it with a grain of salt. What did he do for her? Like, how did he add to her life? You know what I mean? 8 years of your life, literally, you were his counselor, his therapist, and you had to push out kids and raise them. No, I am not subscribing to struggle love. If I have to flip over tables in churches or whatever for them to understand this is not okay. Black men need to step it up. You cannot continue to expect women to carry you and then wonder why they're so angry, why they're so mad, and you want them to be feminine, and you want them to play the role of head of household, because that's what a covering is. The covering is the head of household. So you want her to be the boss, or you want her to submit to you? Like, which one is it? Like, and I just feel like you cannot take a lot of these men seriously because they're not able to literally, take the crust off of their eyes to see the epidemic in the Black family, because they're too busy telling women what's wrong with us and creating these forums and writing these books and telling us, what we need to do and how we need to get our lives together. But they're not seeing what Black men need to figure out and do and what they need to do. There's too busy deflecting and saying vice versa, y'all do it too, instead of creating actual solutions how we can grow. Now, if John Gray were to say, you know what, I had to go to therapy, I had to do my part, I had to do certain work. We don't know the behind the scenes of what the woman actually made him do. Maybe she made him go to therapy. We don't know. I wish I knew that part of it. But Black men, go to therapy. Black men, read books on communication. Black men, educate yourself, grow, and become better. If not, ladies, stop dating these science projects. Stop dating them, because they're never going to change. They can threaten you and say, I'm going to go to a white woman. Let them go. I'm going to go to Spanish women. They know how to treat me better. Let them go. Because you know what? The same pressures that they put on Black women, they're not putting on white women. The same unrealistic expectations to be their savior, to be their hope and glory, they're not putting that on Spanish women. When those type of women act up and they get crazy, it's called cute. It's called feisty. When we challenge them and tell them to man up and come up higher, we are, we don't know how to talk to them. We're angry. We're bitter. So if they want to play the game, don't play it with them until they stop gaslighting us and really see what they're doing. Don't fool with a guy who doesn't know who he is. Don't fool with a man who wants you to be his savior, who Jesus already died on the cross. You're not his savior. The word says the man is supposed to wash you with the water of the word. The man is supposed to love you like Christ loved the church and gave his life up for her, right? Sacrificing, giving his life up. It's not the other way around, Black women. Don't fall for this struggle love propaganda, even if it's wrapped up with a little bow and the person uses the name of Christ in it. Do not fall up in this trap. And you know what? Some people may say, well, God told Hosea to marry Gomer and Gomer was a prostitute. Why didn't God do it the other way around? He made the man marry a woman who was unfaithful, and he had to keep going back after her to show that's the same thing that Jesus has given to us, like just constantly coming back for us, that relationship that God really just wants to have with us. It wasn't Gomer marrying Hosea and she chasing after Hosea. That wasn't it. Hosea was chasing after Gomer. Now, if a man, and you know what, if a man is constantly doing that and God told you to do it, I can't step in what God said. I can't step into that. But the Bible also talks about being unequally yoked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you have to drag a partner in order to have a relationship with them. And you know what? There's special cases where, God would have somebody do that. But my concern is that this is a constant narrative. Every Tyler Perry movie, y'all, every Black movie, it's always some Black woman struggling, to get a man, keep a man, and push him to grow up. And Prophetess K. Michelle said it best: you can't raise a man. That is all, folks. Until next time.